Aloha Baraka, this is Thomas Ellenberg talking to you and your campaign committee and all of your supporters from Honolulu, Hawaii. We are so excited that 76% of our local Hawaiian voters supported you in the primary. Congratulations. This is the most excited many of us have been since the late 60s and the whole period of during the 60s, the period of time between JFK being elected in 1960 all the way up through Bobby Kennedy, Martin Luther King. This is the most hopeful we have been. So thank you for giving us the audacity to hope again. May you be protected. May you be surrounded by angels of protection so that you may go all the way to the White House, because I know that you will in effect start another American Revolution, just what Thomas Jefferson and Martin Luther King both said. When people find that they have been oppressed by the old paradigm, by the old thought systems, we have a right. And we can do it peacefully. We can do it with a leader like you and with ideas from all different sources. And that's what I'd like to talk about right now. I am a teacher. I am recently retired from 30 years teaching in the San Francisco school system. I taught all grades from kindergarten through 8th grade, and I taught in the Peace Corps. I lived in a third world country like you in Africa. I lived in Venezuela, in Estado Sucre, in a little village called El Pilar, and I saw what a socialistic democracy can do for its people. I saw how people behaved with each other when they were not dominated by the greed and the unethical worldview of the military-industrial complex. In 1962 and 63, I had the incredible blessing of having close encounters with John F. Kennedy and Jackie in Pittsburgh, with Martin Luther King Jr. I actually met him, shook his hand, and learned how to sing We Shall Overcome. And I heard Dwight Eisenhower give a speech before he died on how we as Americans need to really question the sacred cow that he named the military-industrial complex. I have my lifeguard shirt on today because I dedicated my teaching career to helping children get free of the dictatorial brainwashing and programming, which is in control and has been rigidly in control of the public school system ever since No Child Left Behind took it over and decided to terrorize teachers, faculties, parents, and administrators throughout the entire country, terrorize them into submission with this teaching hierarchy, this stratification that goes on in the school system. You say in your speech that you want to change the status quo, and you have the minds and hearts and most importantly the ears of Americans right now. And so my suggestion to you, in fact, I'd love to be hired by your campaign as an idea man, because I have developed, along with my students, so many ideas from the grassroots, from the core of our inner beingness, of how to really create a wonderful new peaceful American Revolution that will bring America up into the highest ideals that our very mystical and metaphysical founding fathers dreamed. As a part Native American, Seneca and Mohawk, I also am very aware of your wife's sentiments. I mean, it is time for us, if we are truly going to be real Americans and truly proud of the potential of America, to really sit down and think out of the box. And that's what this is about right now. Why don't you go ahead and have roundtable discussions, organize, as soon as you're in the White House, organize roundtables around the housing crisis, which is connected to interest rates, which is connected to the way we have allowed banks, some call them the banksters, to demand that we pay for 3 houses in interest when we buy one, and yet when they use our money, they give us a paltry 2 to 3% interest. To examine how to make the banking system fair, really fair again. Lincoln and John F. Kennedy wanted to have non-interest federal loans for Americans, and coincidentally, they were gotten rid of. Interesting point. whenever someone actually stands up to the greedy capitalistic controllers that run the military-industrial complex, they're gotten rid of. But if we all stand together behind you and we have a roundtable and we really look at the dark side of capitalism, like the people did in Russia and in the East when they looked at the dark side of communism. I saw the dark side of capitalism when I was in the Peace Corps, how the Ford and General Motors and these huge corporations had these factories outside of Caracas and Valencia and Maracaibo, where they paid the people 2 cents on the dollar to do jobs. I mean, they were already outsourcing jobs back then. Why don't you also have roundtable discussions which question the way the banks and the capitalistic system right now, these sacred cows, really rape Americans of their money? I mean, I'm amazed in my life teaching that the government has taken half my money, even though I was dedicating my entire life, and yet these investment bankers on Wall Street, which needs to be investigated also because there's so much corruption, how they get these huge Christmas bonuses of like millions of dollars. I know because I knew a friend that worked for the CEO of Citicorp. I know what's really going on. So we need to have roundtable discussions on that. We need to have a roundtable discussion on the real root causes of this war, this world war between religions, between Islam, Judaism, and Christianity. And if I was you, if I was president, I would call like a major world peace conference. I would have it like at the base of the pyramids, which represent eternal life. And I would say, we're going to sit here, we're going to invite all people that want to participate until we avoid, we the people, you represent the people, Obama, in a way that nobody has since Martin Luther King and Bobby Kennedy, that we the people can stop these sacred cows, these huge organized religions, from bringing the world into a third world war. We could do that with a leader like you, who is willing to think out of the box. And when I hear your speeches, I can understand why people are saying, yes, change, change, change. But you're going to find real, true ideas for change from those of us, typical American middle-class people who I've been in the trenches of the public school system all of my life, over 35 years. And I know that when you allow children the freedom to question, they become free thinkers and they begin to actualize their true potential. So we need to have a roundtable discussion on how to really, really improve education. Why we haven't improved it isn't it in fact an enculturation system that provides worker bees who are compliant, consumeristic, capitalistic clones, when in fact true education should allow freedom of speech and freedom of discourse. I can tell you right now, as a teacher, I did not have freedom of speech until I was given it by the administration in San Francisco, and I introduced freedom of speech, which took the lid off. We stopped all grading. We stopped everything but allowing children to discover their own bliss, their own talents. As you know, the school system works for brilliant people and great athletes, but it doesn't work for the majority of children who are made to feel not enough. So we need a roundtable discussion on how to really, really overhaul education. And my book is a great beginning. Uncle Tom's Classroom: How One Public School Teacher Awakened His Students to the Cosmic Super Self Within. I would love to be on your Education Reform Committee, and I'm here in Hawaii right now. Congratulations once again for your victory. I know that we can make this American Revolution happen. Oh, I see I have a few more seconds. We need another roundtable discussion to really look into the real secret causes of 911. Why was NORAD called down? Why was NORAD so confused that day? Why wasn't the wreckage from Shanksburg and the Pentagon ever really shared with the public? I mean, there's a lot of ifs, ands, and you as president could really open minds.